Hey guys, welcome to Nanny News. We are a channel that shares the juiciest stories that take place in the nanny industry. I am your host, Ashley, and you can follow us on all social media platforms at The Nanny News. Earlier this week, we posted a video of a workout that we did at the gym. It was a simple, quick, little leg workout. So if you are needing some motivation to get to the gym or needing a little workout to do at the gym, please check that episode out. But I know most of you and all of you are here for one of the most exclusive interviews that we have ever conducted here on Nanny News. We sat down with the 2023 Nanny of the Year, which is Angela Johnson Sutherland. I got the privilege to hear her story, and we talked all the way back to when she began as a nanny and where she is at now, how she felt when she found out that she was a finalist as a 2023 Nanny of the Year, how she felt when she won, and what she's planning on doing from here on out with this amazing title. Guys, this interview is one of the best interviews I have ever experienced, been a part of, and I'm so honored to be able to share this on my platform. This is the first interview she has ever done by winning this title, and I'm beyond honored for her to be here. So, guys, without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's get to the 2023 Nanny of the Year. All right, guys, we are in for a special treat. Okay, guys, I'm sitting down with one of a very special person to me and in this industry. She has done so much. She has given us, shared all her advice about toddlers, babies. She is the owner and the face behind This Damn Good in our 2023 Nanny of the Year, Angela Sutherland. I'm so excited to be sitting down with her. And before we even start, Angela, I have to just say congratulations, because you have earned a title that a lot of us out here tried to earn and go strive for. And to see a face like you out there is really it's inspiring. And I'm just so honored to have you on my channel and to talk about your new title, Nanny of the Year.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, no, I'm really honored for you to even think of Nanny News. So, I want to start off by telling them a little bit about just a tad bit about you, where you kind of are right now, and then we're gonna go back into your nanny life, and then we're gonna make it a journey. So,
Okay.
just kind of introduce yourself, because I know there may be some people that may not know, which I don't know is a little crazy to me, but may not know you. So let's introduce you for just a little bit.
So my name is Angela, but most people know me as Ask the Nanny all across social media. I am a newborn care specialist. I am a new parent educator. I am a lactation educator, a sleep trainer and conditioner, a the list goes on and
I
on.
was gonna say the list will keep going on.
I was like, no, don't go down that road. So, but yeah, those are my most important roles. I am also newly retired as nannying. I stopped nannying during the day back in December so that I can focus on babies and where I love to work. So I will occasionally fill in for my old families. But as far as being hired as a nanny during the daytime, that's not going to happen anymore. So I am
Yes.
focusing on the babies overnight and focusing on the parents and working on my postpartum doula certification so that I can do more for the moms. I feel like I'm doing to a certain point now, but I'm not certified to go beyond that. So I have to dial up my friends and say, hey, got this situation. I want to do this. Is that okay? Is that all right? Am I doing right? And so I have to call someone that is certified to say, yes, you can do that. Tell mom this, and this. So yeah, but I want to be able to do that on my own without
Yeah.
having to call up somebody. So I'm working on that. I want to be a one-stop shop. And so I'm working on that. That's my newest, latest and greatest
Adventure.
inspiration to get that done. I want that certification. So I'm working on that when I finally have some time to actually take the class. Yeah, that's when I'm going to do that. Hopefully this summer.
Right? You're a busy woman right now. A
Yes.
busy person.
So
Um,
yeah, that's
it,
a bit about me.
well, I want to kind of jump to like, when did you first become a nanny? When was like how did you become a nanny?
Well, I heard about nannies, but I
Okay.
wasn't for sure what one was. I mean, I knew they
Hmm.
went to everybody's house and took care of the kids. Basically, to me, it was babysitting.
Hmm.
Not obviously. So I heard about being a nanny. I was the director of a play group, a 0 to 3 year old play group. And in this play group, we met on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And the parents would bring the kids, or the nannies would bring the kids. And there were so many nannies there that I got to know. And I was fascinated. I watched them interact with the kids. I was like, I want to do that. And so one of the parents there needed a babysitter for the afternoon. And she asked me if I did babysitting. I was like, sure. Okay. And so I went to her house. I babysat for her. She told her friends about it, and it was like for the next 3 or 4 months, I was doing babysitting from around this little community. And I started talking in depth with one of the nannies, and she said, "You can do this. You don't have to be a babysitter. You can do this. You can be a nanny." I'm like, "Oh, well, how do I do that?" So I placed an ad in the Northwest Current, which is a little small newspaper in
Paper.
Northwest DC. And somebody responded, and it was a 3 month old baby, and I was with them for 7 years.
And
And
the
that's
rest is
how I got
history.
started. And it was amazing because I was a nanny for the first time. They were nanny parents for the first time. They were parents for the first time. So we both learned together.
And then you just decided, like, all right, I'm gonna take this. And then from here we are,
I
from
I
that point
went
on.
for it, and I loved it because I my first job, I got to be my own boss, basically. They were
Hmm.
gone all day. I worked from 7 to 7. They were gone all day. Whatever you want to do with them, fine. I mean, we went to the library, we went to the parks, we went on walks, we went to museums, we went to I went to
And
lunch. I met one nanny, and she had a little boy right about the same age as my little boy. And we met for walks. And that was the only nanny I knew for a long time.
mm,
Uh,
mm.
I didn't find out about Facebook nannies until it was
Uh,
2017 when I found out about
oh,
Facebook nannies. And I started being a nanny in 2001.
I
So
was okay.
imagine the isolation of knowing one nanny
Wow.
all
So
the time. And
wow.
I had to teach myself. I had to learn myself. I had to be my own advocate. As we say, we are our own HR
Mm,
department. Yeah,
hmm.
I had to be my own HR department because there was nobody out there to show me what to do other than what I saw the nannies doing for that 2 to 3 hour period at the playgroup on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And they really, it's hard to pay attention to them when you're in charge and you're running everything and trying to make sure
Mm.
everything is in charge. Everything that I'm in charge of is done.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a lonely road for a while.
I bet. I couldn't even imagine. That's almost 17 years without
Yes.
yeah. Wow.
Well,
So when you found out about Facebook nannies, is that when you introduced Ask the Nanny?
actually, I got hurt at work.
Okay.
And when I say I got hurt at work, I have two ruptured discs in my neck. So my
Oh, dang.
bones rest on top of each other like this. I
Yeah.
went to pick the 2 year old up out of the crib, and he had
Mm.
on a sleep sack. So he was kicking his legs, and I went like this, and he kicked, and something on this side where I just heard it go, and I was like,
Mm.
okay. And my hand
No.
dropped. Now, mind you,
Mm.
he was like this far off the mattress. So he thought we were jumping. Because oftentimes I'll go in there and I hold his hand and he'll jump. He thought we were
Right.
jumping. He thought it was fun. I'm standing here like, okay,
Uh-uh,
okay,
baby.
oh, okay. What do I call? Okay, I'm old.
Oh
Oh God.
man.
So I ended up calling the parents and telling them I need you to come home. And because they were out with family members. And because it was nap time and I had to go pick up the oldest one from school, somehow I managed to get the 2-year-old out of the crib. I grabbed him with this arm and he came out of the crib. I had taught him how to climb down the stairs. We climbed down the stairs. He put his own shoes on. I'm so glad I make children independent. Ooh, that day
Okay.
saved my life. And so I am driving. I'm looking up at the mirrors, all my mirrors, and I'm praying the whole time because I couldn't get in touch with the parents. The school closed at 4 o'clock. It was 3 o'clock before we made it out of the door, and we were going to be late. They have to pay late fees if I got there after 3:30. So I'm like, I can't get in
Mm.
contact with anybody. No, it was on me. And I went and
Mm.
picked him up, had him help his brother. We got the seatbelts fastened. I latched them with one hand. I said, okay, we're going to turn on the music. I need you all to listen to the music, and we're going to go home. And so apparently they knew that I wasn't feeling well.
Yeah, they felt
And
it.
so they were unusually quiet the whole way home. And I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, God.
Because I just need to concentrate. I don't need to have to turn my head to at the lights to see what they're doing. I
You're
don't need
right.
to have to do anything just to get me home. I got home. I left the car in the driveway. We all got out. We went inside. I called my husband. I said, I need you to come get me. I can't
Yeah.
drive home. I need you to come get me. So him and my brother came, and right about the time that he showed up, the parents showed up. What's wrong? What's wrong? What happened? I know,
I've
right?
been calling you.
uh, it seemed like a long time, but they all showed up around 4 o'clock.
Okay.
So it had only been like an hour since I contacted them. I don't know where they were. They were somewhere in the city,
Yeah.
but I was just like, oh God, oh God. And I went to the doctor, and the doctor immediately told me,
You can
you
be
have a
right.
pinched nerve, and you're going to be out for
Mm.
3 weeks for it to heal. You can't pick up anything over 15 pounds. You can't do this. You can't do that. In the
Mm.
meantime, you need to think about quitting your job.
Good
You
mother.
have to stop doing what you're doing.
Mm.
My mouth
Mm.
was like,
How dare you? Like, right.
and I'm sitting here like, and I'm feeling sorry for myself. I'm in
Mm-hmm.
pain. I'm feeling sorry for myself, and I'm just crying. I cried for 3 weeks
Oh, I bet I would have did. How you
because
gonna tell
it was
me about
like the
my?
whole time I was off work, they were calling to check up on me, and they were sincere about checking up on me.
That's good.
But they were also um, want to know, are you coming back? And I'm like, well, I plan to, but according to my doctor, I don't need to. And I had to give them that information because I didn't want to catch them off guard. Do we need to start looking for someone else? We don't want to give you up. And I'm like, well, I don't want to give up either, but my doctor said I had to go. That was my reaction. I cried every time I had to tell that story.
I bet.
And
Mm.
long story short, I ended up going back, but my son was home from college on spring break. So he went back with me to do the heavy lifting.
Oh, okay.
Um, and by the end of the first day, they were clinging to him, and I
I
was
was.
old news because
I
it
was
was
about
two
to.
little boys.
I bet.
And I was old news, and he was getting on Snapchat making funny faces with them, and the
Mm-hmm.
little what was it, the
Little
little
tip.
tiger ears and the little puppy
Yeah,
dog ears, and they were
I
like,
remember.
"Oh, Micah!" I was like, "Okay, guys, let's go in the kitchen and eat lunch."
Mm-mm.
But can Micah come? Can Micah come? What am
Like, you're
I?
gonna have right.
I'm chopped liver now. So yeah. So it was hard seeing them attached to him so quickly, but my
Mm.
son has always had kids attached to him quickly. Um, And I'm glad that he has that gift too. But it kind of disappointed me a little bit. I was like,
like
my
I
job.
made all right. Like I made these
Yeah.
connections with
So
y'all.
I I moaned and whined, and my dad said, Angela, I've watched you for 3 weeks, moan and whine. It's time for you to get up. You are the super nanny. Now let's get
Mm,
up and go. And that's what made me go back.
mm,
That's what made me take my
mm.
son, back with me for that week. And that week, I had them independently do everything. I said, don't do anything for them. I said, because I'm going to need them to pitch in and work with me. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what they did. And that's
Hey.
how I stayed. And then I ended up staying because I found out mom was pregnant again with another baby. So I was like, I can't leave her in the lurch. So I ended up staying another year. And then I
Okay.
decided I can't do this anymore. I can't pick up big grown folks. Babies, yes. The big grown, I can't do
Okay.
the toddlers. And that's when I decided to go and do the NCS work. I just
I
quit cold
was
turkey.
I was just about to like, okay, so that's how you started with the NCS. So you
That's how
and
I
did you
started. I quit cold turkey. I was like, I can't do this anymore. My body is telling me you need to stop. The doctor has already told me, well, if you don't do this, and sometimes I think doctors say things to scare you, to
mm-hmm.
get you to persuade you to come to their way. And I think it was one of those times. But during that time of me being down and out, of my dad telling me, you need to get up. Come on, you got to do the super nanny.
Yeah.
So I started searching the internet
Mm.
to find, what can I do? How can I still be a nanny? How can I still work in the childcare field? What can I do? And I just started looking, and I found the International Nanny Association. And I was like, who
Mm.
is this? So I started looking in there. I said, oh, okay, I wonder if they can help me find a job or something to do other than, with the 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds. And then I came across, in my search, I came across International Nanny Training Day. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what is that?
Right.
And I looked it up, and I was like, well, baby, I've been out of work for 3 weeks. I can't afford to do this. Yes, you can.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to do it. You're going to go invest in yourself. I said, but I got bills to pay. You want to invest in yourself. If you're trying to start over, then you're going to invest in yourself. I said, okay. So I went to, uh, I I clicked on the link, filled out the form to the city near closest to me. I filled out the information form, paid the money. And this was like a week and a half away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised they still had tickets. I
Mm.
went, and that's when I met Chevelle. And
Mm.
Chevelle introduced me to Stephanie, and Stephanie introduced me to someone else. And Chevelle introduced, I mean, the whole room, it was buzzing. And I was just like,
Right.
I was just like a kid in a candy store, because I'm like, there are nannies that exist. Oh my
Right.
gosh.
I
So
bet.
then before I left, Chevelle says, join this Facebook group, join that Facebook group, join this Facebook group, join that Facebook group.
Wow.
Within a week, I had joined 140 nanny groups on Facebook. I was like, there's no in the world that you can pay attention to all these nanny groups. So I would work during the day, during nap time, I'm answering questions in Facebook chats. And I'm like, oh, no, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I had no clue that my own personal feelings were a standard that was trying to be set in the industry. I was like, don't do that. You don't have to do that.
Mm.
And it just bugged me about all the things that I saw. I'm like, why are you letting people treat you this way? Because I had very good families that I work with,
Right.
and
Yeah.
they treated me like I was a team member.
Mm.
And so that's what I was used to for 17 years. And I never, only one time, and that was because I went after the money and not
And not
not pay
the
attention
people.
to, this is not a good fit for you.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only time I was treated as the hired help. But it was, I after I found them, and I got on the Facebook groups, and that was right around the time when Facebook Live was going. And I was like, okay. And Stephanie told me, and Stephanie Balcom, let me be clear, that Chevelle Fredericks, she's now a master NCS. She was an NCS at the time. She talked to me about that. And Stephanie Balcom, who owns Nanny Tees, she said, you got a story to tell. You need to go on Facebook Live. I was like,
and y'all, you wouldn't even expect that.
I said, do you hear my voice? I'm so country. She said, yeah, Steve Harvey is too.
She right though.
And where is he at? And I was like, well, yeah, I guess he is successful. I said, I got a Moses complex. I said, you know how Moses stuttered? I said, that's me. I kept going. I couldn't hardly get my words out. And I was just like, just breathe, Angela, just breathe. So after talking to her, I decided, okay, I'm gonna give it a try. The first time I went on, I had 0 people. One popped in for a hot second and left. And so I just talked for like 15 minutes and I got off. The next week I went again, talked for 15 minutes, I got off. And I was like, okay, this is not working. So then by that time, it was close to National Nanny Recognition Week. So I said, I'm gonna try this again. And so Chevelle was my first nanny because she was still working as a nanny at the time. And so I found a nanny for each night of National Nanny Recognition Week. And I interviewed them, and some people saw me. I was like, yes, I got yes. I was so happy. But I kept going and I kept going and I kept going and I kept going. And soon 3 turned into 10, 10 turned into 20, and then it turned into hundreds, and then it was thousands. And I was like, where did all these people come from?
I was good. Yeah.
People. So it was like a natural progress. And it just, I don't know, it was just something within me. I was like, okay, I know that I love teaching. I know that I love teaching new parents, but I didn't realize that I would love teaching nannies and learning from them. And because I wasn't allowing half the things that I saw in the groups go on in my life, in my nanny workplace, I was like, why are y'all putting up with this? Why are you doing this? Don't you know how to speak up for yourself? And you need to first of all, make sure you're a good match. And it was just something that came natural to me. It wasn't something that was told to me until I started going to conferences. And so that first conference was Nanny Palooza. And I had my phone in everybody's face. This is Ask the Nanny. If you're not here at Nanny Palooza, you don't know what you're missing out on. Save your nickels, save your pennies, save your dimes. Get here next year. And I showed up the next year and I did the same thing. I showed up at INA and I'm like, I went around to everybody, had my phone in everybody's face. So I was like, okay, if this is going to work for me. And then people that I didn't even know, I was like, I'm Ask the Nanny. Can I interview you? Can I go live on Facebook with you? So I was going live, and back then Reels were not happening. So I was going live. It's lunchtime here. Hey, what are we having for lunch? Let's look at the table. And I flipped the phone around so everybody could see what was for lunch. Okay, and who do we have here? Look, these are all newbies. I mean, I just feel like, okay, your phone is your tool. It was my microphone. It was my TV camera. It was everything.
It was everything. I can relate.
I just used what I had. My dad always told me, you the queen, of make it do what it do. I said, yep, I'm gonna make it do what it do.
You are. Yeah.
That was what I did. And from there, people started knowing me because I became annoying and getting in their faces. I was like, I'm going to interview you. I'm live on Facebook Live. Can I interview you? Would you like to have something to say? And it's like, okay, your face is already on Facebook Live. So guess what?
I ain't got no choice.
You might as well say something.
Something.
So that's basically how it started. uh,
Mm-hmm.
and how I got started. And the more I did it, the more comfortable I became. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and the more comfortable I became, the more I wanted to do it. And it just became a weekly thing. And it became a weekly thing for like 5 years. Last year, when my brother got sick, was when I just kind of I had I ended up working like 3 jobs. So I could not
Mm-hmm.
do what I wanted to do. So I kind of completely pulled away from it. Was my plan to come back, but I completely pulled away. And once I pulled away and realized you can't do this, work 3 jobs and have a family,
Mm-hmm.
take care of your husband and take care of yourself. My self-care was out the
I
door.
fit. Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And by December of last year, I was like, you know what? I can't do this no more. I can't, I can't do everything that I'm doing because I'm suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And I started having health issues. And now that I somewhat have them under control, I realize I can't go back to that.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am.
Here you are. But you
Here
went
I
that it
am.
was but you had a good journey through your like nanny journey and like how you started and a lot I can relate to a lot of some of your things that you go through, and especially how you started as the nanny, how you just like, I'm gonna wing this and go out here and just do it because I'm in the same kind of process of, nanny news is kind of how I started at the same thing too. I was like, oh, we just gonna start this and we gonna wing it. And here we are. um, but I wanted to ask, what is maybe the biggest challenge that you may have faced as being a nanny besides maybe the physical aspect of your body that it takes? Was there a biggest challenge that you faced? Was it the loneliness maybe? Was that a big impact maybe in the first or like
Well,
training,
sometimes you don't know
job?
you're lonely
Mm-hmm.
until you find out there's more. It's like exposure. You
Mm-hmm.
don't know you come from a little city and nobody knows where you live, and no, you just a dot on the map until you leave your city and you're thrust into the big city, and you're like, oh my God, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
realize all of these big tall buildings existed. That's how it was when I got in the nanny, when I found out
Wow.
about Facebook groups on uh, uh,
I bet.
nanny
I can't even
Facebook
imagine.
groups. And I was like, oh my God, I got to go see all of them. And everybody that would have me join, 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 join. And I was just, I was just so enraptured. I was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I was just that wrapped up in it. And it taught me something. It taught me to um how to express my feelings without being uh
Mm.
mean,
Mhm.
because I don't want anybody being mean to me. I don't want anybody doing it to me. So I learned how to politically correct, express my feelings being politically correct and not offending anybody, and including myself in some of my stories
Mhm.
into what I was saying. This is how I felt. This is how that made me feel. Or um, if you want to talk about it, we can. And that's how I got nannies to start asking me questions. I liked your opinion. So what do you think about this? And then it was off to the races in my DMs. So it became nanny mentoring. And I was like, when did
Mm.
I start doing that?
Ye
But it was just an elevation. Every time I would turn a corner, it was something different and something
Mhm.
different and then something different. And I have reinvented myself
Mhm.
so many times since I started, since I found out in 2017 you need to be doing something else. I'm like, oh. So yeah, I am the queen of reinvention.
Mhm.
But uh
Mhm.
Crystal always says she's a consistency queen because she consistently shows up, and no matter what she's doing, she gonna give it her all. And I do. I have to,
Yep.
because failure is not an option. When you are self-employed, you better get out there and get it. You better get out
Mhm.
there and put yourself out there and have more than one stream of income coming in. And that's what I loved about it, because I had more than one stream of income coming in, and it allowed me to do some other things. So not only my family, but me and my husband got to take, some trips and do some things. So that was a big part of it too. But I realized that not enough of that was, it was like, okay, I got Saturday and Sunday off. So, okay, we're going to get up at 3 o'clock Saturday morning, and we're going to drive down here a couple of hours. We're going to stay overnight, and then we're going to come back. Well, by the time you drive there and got up early in the morning, you drive there, you're already tired, and then you don't feel like doing anything. So the trip was good, but it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best because it was like a makeshift, you know, I had a staycation. So I just learned a lot along the way about myself, about what I would tolerate. I learned my worth. I learned how to add tax to it. I learned, uh, yes, add tax.
Because that's a big
Um,
one, y'all.
and I learned, it's just like that complicated thing was, take time for yourself. That was my biggest issue with being a nanny, because if you're working for high profile families, which was my first job, I was working from 7 to 7. It took an hour commute to get there. It took an hour and a half commute to get home. By the time I made it home, the kids were getting ready for bed. And then I had to cook dinner for the next day for them, and then get myself together and get up the next morning. Of course, I had to get up an hour early to get ready to get, you know,
See,
leave
2
your
hours
house by
early.
6 to make it there by 7. So I had a very limited space of time. It was like I had this much time for work, this much time for me. And I had to learn how to do work-life balance. And that took me years to learn, years to learn. And now I'm finally at that point of work-life balance. And I get to do what I started doing in the first place, was teaching, telling people my story, was telling people, talking to them about, this is what you deserve. This is what you're worth. This is how we're going to work this. This is what we're going to change. This is what you need to change. And this is how you need to say this. And then I met Kimberly along the way, and she's, the master of hard conversations. Miss Nanny Kim on the go, for most of you all know her on social media. And she was like, Ange, you are not going to do that for free. You are not going to do that for, you're going to get paid for what you know. You have worked too hard, too long, gone to school, been through trial and error. They are not only paying for you talking to them, they are paying for your knowledge and your hard knocks, so they won't have to go through the same thing. So you can teach them how to avoid it. I was like, okay. Okay, because I'm a natural born giver. I love to give, and that's just who I am. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm like, okay, I can't let Kimberly know about this, that I'm doing this free, because she's gonna fuss at me. And yeah, honestly, that's what I was saying. I can't let her know I'm doing this. But a lot of the things I do out of the kindness of my heart, because I saw my dad do it. He did the same thing. My mom used to say, you gonna give everybody the shirt off your back. You ain't gonna have nothing left. And she would be so mad at him, because he would just give to a fault. And I was the same way, give to a fault. And then I had to start learning how to say no. And Laura Brawley taught me how to do that. I had her on Ask the Nanny, and I said, I want you to come on and talk about the art of saying no. And I thought, yeah, I'll learn a little bit. When she came on, that was when my passive aggressive self started being more less passive, more aggressive. And learning how to say no, instead of, hey, can you work a few hours extra? We're going to want to go so and so and so and so. And knowing that I had plans with my family, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Right.
Saying, no, I already have plans with my family. I'm sorry, I can't do that this time. We can plan another time.
And that's it.
But I have learned how to do that now.
Mm, that's a
And
blessing.
and I want to share the news of how to do that now. But yeah, it's that was the journey that my most difficult moment of learning how to say no, learning how
No.
to do self-care, take care of me.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times I was pouring from an empty cup.
Mm-hmm. No, I
Pouring
feel
from
you
an
on
empty
that.
cup.
Yeah.
And at the same time telling other people, girl, you can't pour from an empty cup. You need to fill
Right.
your cup up. And neglecting myself because I
So,
didn't tell that part.
mm-hmm.
But it sounded good coming out of my mouth. I was like, okay,
But you weren't listening to yourself talking.
physician, heal thyself came
Mm-hmm.
to mind. And I was like, well, it's okay. I mean, I'm not tired or anything. I'm not, it's not hurting anything. But it was.
It was. Yeah.
It was.
Mm-hmm. No, that's the biggest blessing. I mean, that is one of the biggest challenges I think that we all face because it's something, especially when you start coming out, like especially new or a few years in. I'm still learning how to say no, and it's still a process of it and learning how to put my self care in it. I do wanted to ask. So, when you first found out that you were Nanny of the Year finalist, what were you thinking, and how were you feeling when you got nominated?
Well, I didn't know until I got the email,
Okay,
and I thought it was a joke.
for really.
I did. I thought it was a joke. I said, why is I didn't tell me? I almost deleted it because I was cleaning.
Because he was
I was
cleaning out, and
cleaning
I ain't gonna
out
lie, they do
my
sending out
email.
emails.
Like delete. No, I don't need that. Delete. No, I don't
Right.
need that. Delete. Wait a minute. What? Nanny of the year. And I was like, oh, you might want to read that. There might be some information there. And it said, congratulations. I was like,
For what?
you have been nominated by several people.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, and then a little conversation that I had on text message with Kimberly came on. She
You
said,
know,
so what's your married name? And when is your birthday? And I was like,
Kimberly's so slick.
what are you up to? Nothing. I'm just trying to fill out this form for when I do my program next year, so I can have all the information.
She's
I
so
said, okay.
smart.
So,
She's smart.
she's always doing stuff. And I was like,
Mm,
okay. And I
always.
didn't think anything else of it until
You
uh
got the email.
I got the email. And then when I got the email, Patsy
Mm-hmm.
came and said, did you check your emails? I said, yeah, I'm just cleaning them out. I said, why? She said, just check the email. I was like, okay, I'm checking the email. I'm checking the email. And when I saw that, I was like, wait a minute. It hit me. She had something to do with this too.
You
And
know.
I said, she done pull Patsy off in this. And I didn't know until after they announced that I was a nominee
Mm.
that it was over 20 people who nominated me on the same day, the very last day of the nominations, on the same day. She had pulled a group together
I wonder
and
how that
nominated me.
happened.
And I was like, she said, I said, how many was it? She said, oh, just a few of us.
It's just a few. You know
Okay,
her.
I'm
It's just a
thinking, okay,
few.
well, maybe it might have been Kimberly and Patsy and,
You know,
maybe a couple of other friends. But I didn't realize until they announced it in, what was it, February, that I
mm-hmm.
was, that all the nominations that came in,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm waiting on pins and needles. Okay, you got to fill out all this paperwork and do all these things and turn it
Mm.
in and wait.
Okay.
I was
I
like,
was wondering,
okay,
oh.
and wait and wait and wait. And I'm not good at waiting.
Mm-mm.
I'm patient
Nah.
with kids, but
No,
myself, I'm so anxious. Tell me now.
right.
Just let me know.
It's
Put me out
the
of my
tell me.
misery. If I didn't make the cut, just put me out of my misery. So I just won't even have to worry about it. But when they announced it, I'm like, it was like, and I immediately started crying. I was
Have
like,
it.
you said I was gonna be super nanny. You said I was gonna be super nanny. It's coming to life. And I was like, well, girl, you hadn't won yet. Don't get too excited.
But she was
So I was like, okay, calm down, chill out. And then when the announcement
gonna
of
ask.
you have made the 5 finalists, I was like, oh my God. I called my husband. I said, you know, he said, what?
I,
He said, I knew you would.
I
Oh,
see, because we all knew you was going to.
like, okay, all right, okay. I said, now I gotta turn in the references. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I said, I got a long list of things to do. It wasn't really that long. I just, in my mind, it was that long because I was just that anxious. And so then it's like, okay, and now you wait.
You wait again.
And you wait and you wait. And when they called to tell me,
So they called you.
when they sent me, it was a Zoom call.
Okay.
And they said, well, we need to talk to you about your roundtable discussion at the INA conference. And I was like, okay. So I'm thinking, oh, they got something, important to say. I said, do I need to make a presentation? It's a roundtable discussion. What do I need to do? And I thought, well, they're going to give me instructions. Can you jump on a call right quick? Sure. And then she got her times mixed up. So I'm on the call and nobody's there with me. She's like, give me 20 minutes. I said, okay. More, 10 minutes more. Okay. And then the screen comes on and there's one of the presidents. I say,
your heart probably beat.
My face fell. I was like, oh my
God,
what did I do?
Like,
why is she here? I must have done something wrong. Everything, you know how when you're not expecting something, everything goes through your mind at the same time. Yeah. And you're like,
you're shocked. You're like,
I was shocked and I'm trying to hold it together. And my face is like, I didn't know whether to smile. Do I smile about this? No, it might be something bad. I might not want to smile. All these thoughts going through my head. I'm like, girl, if you don't shut your brain down. And so then Marsha comes on and she says, I lied. I had to find an excuse to get you on this Zoom call. I was like,
okay. I've been like,
okay. She said, we just want to be the first ones to tell you. She said, we knew, but the executive board didn't know. So they just found out that you are the next nanny of the year. I was like, and then I just busted out crying. I was like,
oh, I bet.
Because it was, I wasn't expecting it. And I just busted out crying and I was like, and then I couldn't breathe. I started hyperventilating. I couldn't breathe. I was like, oh my God. Like, don't you pass out on this phone call. Do not pass out. So I was like, they said, Angela. I was like, I was trying to catch my breath. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm okay. I got
this. Oh my God. I won.
And it like set in, like, oh my.
And then because my eyes started watering and my nose started running. And apparently I rubbed my eyes. I had been at the house cleaning up because we just recently moved. And I rubbed my hands. Why did I not get tissue? I don't know. But I rubbed my hands across my eyes and apparently I got something in my eyes and then I couldn't see. I was like, hold on a second, I can't see. I can't see. So I was just like, girl, you a hot mess.
I was like, redo, call me back.
I'll be back in a few minutes. Yeah, look, if I had known you all were going to call, I would dressed up, I would do something. I would not have on this jacket and t-shirt. I would look nice.
Because I'm talking to the president.
So I was just a hot mess. And then they said, but you can't tell anybody. I said, okay.
You telling me I gotta keep this a secret again?
But my husband's standing right here. Can I tell him? She said, sure. It's like, well, y'all didn't tell me. You lied to me. So I didn't know I was supposed to be alone. Right. We were there cleaning up the house. And so he comes on, he said, congratulations, baby. I knew he was going to win it. I'm so proud of you. And I was like, I said, thank you. And then the first thing I said, I wish my daddy was here.
I bet.
Because he was the one. It was like, I didn't realize until then I was holding out, and because my dad and I were best friends, I talked to him every morning at 7:30 for that last 4 or 5 years, every day since I got hurt at work. I had talked to him every day until he died. And it was like I realized I burst out in tears because this is something that I wanted. It was like the epitome of what my dad said I was. Because to me, it's the highest award as a nanny that you can receive. And my daddy said, "You're the super nanny."
Yep.
And that's what went through my head. You're the super nanny. And I burst out in tears, was like, "You're not here for me to tell you this." And I'm like, "I'm hoping that you're looking down from heaven and smiling, because I just want to make you proud. I just want to make you proud." And I remember saying that. I wish my daddy were here. And my husband said, "He's here." I said, "Yeah, we're gonna have to have a talk tonight." And but yeah, it was like, "I did you proud, Daddy. I did you proud."
You did,
And
yeah.
that was my biggest, it was like one of my proudest moments, besides being a wife and a mama. It was like one of my proudest moments in my career, the career that I chose, the career that I almost gave up on. And it was so ironic because INA was one who saved my career.
I was gonna say, yeah.
And all of a sudden, INA is saying, "Here, you're the nanny of the year." A career that I almost gave up on because the doctor said no.
You could know.
And I just want my message to be.
That's what I was just about to say. What is one of the big goals or advice that you can? We were in and on this
I'm
note, on a good
sorry, you
note.
know me.
No,
When I get to talking, I just keep
no,
going.
I know how you are. No. You hit all my questions too, so you good. Because that's
So
what my last question is going to be.
I just want my, if I don't tell anything else, I want to tell my story of how, regardless as to when people say you can't. See that sign up there? I came in this room, this particular room in my home. There are words all over my house. It says "you can," and the rest of it says "end of story."
End of story. I know that.
This is my story. You can. End of story. Don't let anybody tell you what you can't do. When I was in Alaska and I cut my eye, I had just gotten my license to have a home daycare. Oh, and I had to wear these big goggles. You know the goggles that, well, you probably too young to remember, but there's these big, huge goggles that they give you when you have eye surgery to protect your eyes from the
I know what you're
sun.
talking about.
And
Yeah,
I had to wear those for a whole year.
Oh.
Nobody's going to want that child to be in your daycare with you wearing those big goggles. Nobody's going to want you to do this. Nobody's going to want. You can't. And every time I heard that, it just, me and my stubborn soul just made me rebellious, because I was a rebellious child. I'm not the person that you see today. I was a very rebellious child. And you tell me I can't, they're just telling me, go right ahead on, don't try, don't do your thing. And that's what I did. So when somebody told me I can't, I went the extra mile to prove, yes, I can. And not only can I do that, I can do this, and this. And then I'm going to invite you over so that you can see, and I can prove you wrong. And so you can see live and in living color, I'm doing this. And that's what I did. And it's, every time it's, you can't. When the doctor said you can't, I was believing him. He showed me the x-rays. He showed me what my neck looked like. He showed me how I should be paralyzed from the neck down. I went to the pain medicine doctor, and he said, "I'm not going to touch you, because if I give you the the epidural pain medicine in your neck, it could paralyze you from the neck down. You walked in here, and I'm not going to charge you for this visit. You're going to walk out of here." And he said, "Unless you're planning on having surgery to get it corrected, He said, but I'm going to tell you, 50% chance of you being paralyzed, even from the surgery. 50% chance of you not, in 5 years, you're going to be right back where you are now. And 80% chance that the anesthesia is going to get you. Because my last surgery, I stopped breathing 8 times and they put me on a respirator. So I was almost taken out. Surgery was fine. No problems, no complications. It was me breathing. It put me under so deep that my body forgot to keep breathing. So they had to breathe for me for 12 hours. So I was like, okay, so I don't like the odds of the paralyzation. I don't like the odds of the 5 years is coming back, but I really don't like the odds of just me going under could kill me. Not necessarily. You probably won't even get to do the surgery if I'm under. If I'm gone, there's no need to do the surgery. Nope, not doing it. So I found me a great chiropractor, and she keeps me in order. She keeps me straight. Gave me exercises to do, and I feel better now than I've felt in a long, long, long time. And when they said I can't, and every time somebody tell me you can't, when I decided that I was going to stop working in early education and care, that was the name of the company, the Early Head Start, and I got a job. Oh, you're not gonna make that much. They're not gonna pay you that much. I don't know where you think you're going. They're not gonna pay you. Okay, well, they paid me that much plus some and got a bonus in 6 months. How you like me now? And I don't say that to brag, but I say that because don't give up. Don't accept the status quo when somebody tells you what you can't do. Keep moving forward. This past weekend, I went to NannyCon in London and spoke and led. I was a speaker, and I led a panel, and everybody told Shada, "Oh, it can't be done. Don't do this. Don't do it." It was one of the best nanny conferences that I've ever been to.
I bet.
Now, I can't say I've been to a ton of them, but I've been to like 9 or 10. And she created history. And everybody told her she couldn't do it. Wanted her to give up. I mean, the roadblocks that came in the way, because we were there every step of the way. The roadblocks that came in her way, the things, the crying at night, the I'm so tired, I don't even want to talk to nobody. So we had to keep calling. We're here for you. We love you. Don't give up. And to see that, to be a part of that, to see it pulled off with such excellence. And the people that she had on the staff, when I tell you everybody had an escort, all the speakers had an escort. Would you like something to eat? Would you like some water? Would you like something to drink? You want some coffee? There's food over here. There's fruit over there. Let me go get you a plate. You haven't eaten in a while. I mean, a well-tuned machine. Everybody was in. It was like places, everyone.
Right.
The show is starting. And I mean, we went from Friday night through Sunday afternoon. And it was just like awesome. And she cried at the end. I cried at the end. Kimberly cried at the end. We all were there and just crying. But it was so awesome. And I'm so glad. We just have to encourage each other.
Yes.
And I want everybody to know this is it. You can. See that? You can. Don't let anybody tell you what you can and cannot do. You may have to take a different direction to get to the final destination, but take that direction and learn from it and keep moving and keep progressing and keep going. You can. And I'm done.
And so we're going to end it like that. I was going to say we have to end it like this because this is just it's such a good note to end on. And Angela, I'm like, you teaching me, your story hits for me so well. I've connected with it so much. And I'm like, man, I'm going through some of those things right now. And it's just like, to see, that's why I said when I saw your name get called,
I was like, it can happen. Like we can do it. Like we're out here doing it because I just seen how much you pour into this and do so much in this industry. And it's just so nice to finally see you get recognized and see people really truly know your value and your worth. And so I'm just so excited. And I know that you, whatever the future holds for you, is nothing but amazing and great things. And I can't wait to witness it all with you. And I just want to say thank you so, so, so much for even thinking of Nanny News for your first interview as Nanny of the Year. I am beyond, when I say beyond, honored to have you on my channel. And I just can't wait for this episode to come out and let others see your greatness. And we're going to end it like this, guys. So this is your
Thank you.
2023 Nanny of the Year, y'all. Please go follow her on all her social medias. She has Aspen. I'm gonna put them down on the description below because she's got a few. So I'm gonna put them down below so you all can make sure you follow her on there. And yeah, which I think on Friday, I think today when this episode airs, you're going to be doing your acceptance speech, correct?
Yep.
And then all right, so we're gonna check her out on that, and then y'all know this episode is coming. So, all right,
Yeah.
guys, we'll see you guys later. Thanks so much, Angela, for being
You're
here.
welcome. You're welcome.